Learn from other people and learn from their mistake. This is very nice ideas without making any mistake, without wasting your time, energy by observing others' life and others' mistake. You can learn ample of knowledge. You can learn many things from their mistake and you can save and preserve your energy, money and time. So this lesson will be very useful for you. Let me talk further about how can this topic learn from other people is going to save our time, money, energy and other things. So think about your life for a moment. We have to think about our life. Sometimes we are not thinking about our life. We are thinking most of the time others' life. But why? How much what you know about today did you actually discover completely by yourself? No, no one is discovering everything from their own because they are living in the society. They are having company, friends, family, society members, and other broader professional friends, and so many people network, and from there they observe their lives, they observe their strength, they observe their weaknesses and their mistakes, and then they learn also. Very little we learn from ourselves. We learn most of the thing from other people. Let's talk about students. Students, they are not learning themselves, they are learning from the teachers. Yes, if I am right, so you learn to speak from people around you. You cannot speak alone. You have no idea. But when people start speaking with you, tell something this and that, your parents, maybe your friends, your grandfather, grandmother, maybe your auntie, or other people, and then what you do? You learn. So you learn many things from others, not yourself. So always we have to keep our mind about this. So you learn from your parents, you learn from your friends, you learn from your colleagues, you learn from your mentors, you learn from books, even you learn from a stranger. In other words, much of our growth comes through other people. So, how much you have learned today? How much knowledge and information do you have? You have some sources. So, people can be a great source. Every person we meet can teach us something. Some teach us through their knowledge, some teaches us through their experience, some teaches us through their success, some teaches us through their mistakes or unsuccessful stories. And some teaches us simply by showing us what we should or should not do. So today, let's learn how to turn people around us into opportunity for learning. Let me tell you once again. Let us learn how to turn the people around us into opportunities for learning. So every person is a living book. Wonderful idea, yes? We try to find the hard copy, soft copy, and other book, and many things. But here is a great idea. Every person is a living book. We have to read every person as we read the book. So imagine walking into a huge library. What do you do there? There are thousands of books Each book contains information. Some books tells you a story, some teach you science, some teach you history, some teach you philosophy, some teach you practical skills. But there is another kind of library that we often ignore. It is the library of people because we are living among them. But at the same time, we are ignoring them. We are trying to find out some sources to get information, get some learning, some lessons. But we are surrounded by many people every day, every moment. We cross many people while we are walking to our job or maybe some places. So every person has a story. So every person has a story, like every book has a story. So every person has experience. Every person has faced problem. Every person has made decisions. Every person has learned something. A farmer may know things about patience and nature that a university professor has never experienced. A business person may know lesson about risk that cannot be learned from a textbook alone. Any early elderly person may have decades of experience. Talk about the elderly people. Everyone is having experience and decades of experience, not 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 1 month, dealing with relationship, hardship, loss, responsibilities, and charges or changes also. So a young person may understand new technology or new ways of thinking that an older generation has never encountered. So don't look at people only according to their position. Don't ask only question, what does this person have? No, but ask, what does this person know? There is difference between these questions. Let me tell you, what does this person have? No, instead of this, we have to ask another question. What does this person know? And even more importantly, what can I learn from this person? So now I have asked three questions. First, what does this person have? That doesn't matter. Better question is, what does this person know? But more importantly, most important question is, what can I learn from this person? This is very important, and we have to ask this question. That question can transform the way you are seeing people. What can I learn from this person? Learn from successful people. People are not a living book, but they have achieved something, so we can learn from their achievement, from their struggles, because no one can achieve anything easily. They have to go through struggle, stress, many things they have to suffer to get the success. So learn from successful people. One of the easiest way to grow is to study people who have already achieved something you want to achieve. Mean, see the like-minded, see the professional in your field where you want to build your career or where you want to work, in which field, and find out some successful people in that field. Suppose you want to become a better teacher, find excellent teachers, observe them, read their work, listen to their ideas, study how they communicate. Ask yourself, what makes this teacher effective? If you want to become a better businessman, study successful entrepreneurs. If you want to become a better writer, study good writers. If you want to become a better leader, study great leader. But there is an important principle here. Don't simply copy successful people. Learn their principle. Copying and learning, two different things. So we have to be very wise and aware about it. You should not copy from them, but you have to learn some principle from them. A successful person extract path may not work for you. Maybe that person is different. You are different. Their situation is different. Your situation is different. Your location is different. Your geographical place is different. So many differences you can see. So don't copy simply. Their circumstances may be different, their opportunity may be different, their personality may be different, their resources may be different, but their principles may still teach you something. Maybe they were disciplined. Maybe they were persistent. Maybe they learned from failure. Maybe they built a strong relationship. Maybe they kept improving their skills. Study those principles. Then ask, how can I apply these principles to my own life? Very good answer, very good question. If you are able to answer this question, you can learn something that is very valuable for you. That's the intelligent learning. How can I apply these principles to my own life? So learn from people's failure. This is the third point. First was every person is a living book. Second, learn from successful people. Third is learn from people's failure. Now we come to something even more interesting. Most people want to learn from success, but very few people want to study failure. At failure can be one of the greatest teachers. Imagine someone starts a business and fails. You could simply say they failed and walk away, or you could not ask, why did the business fail? This is an important question. Why did their business fail? Maybe they did not understand their customer. Maybe they spent too much money. Maybe they had a poor business model. Maybe they ignored advice. Maybe they expanded too quickly. Maybe they gave up too soon. Whatever the lesson, their experience contains information, and that information can save you from repeating the same mistake. This is one of the greatest advantages of learning from others. You do not have to experience every mistake personally. Let me tell you once again, you do not have to experience every mistake personally. If someone touches a hot stove and gets burned, you do not need to touch the stove yourself to discover that it is hot. You can learn from their experience. The same principle applies to life. Study other people's mistakes. Study failed businessmen. Study failed projects. Study failed relationship. Study failed leadership decisions. Not to laugh at people. Don't laugh, but learn from them. Not to judge them. Don't judge them, but to learn, because someone else's mistake can become your warning. Number four, learn from people who are different from you. Here's another powerful lesson. We naturally enjoy being around people who think like us. We like people who agree with us. We like people who share our interest. We like people who have similar backgrounds and experience. But if we only listen to people who agree with us, our thinking can become narrow. Sometimes we need people who think differently. Someone may have different opinion, a different culture, different profession, different generation, different way of solving problems. That different can teach us something. You don't have to agree with everyone, but you can listen. You can ask, why does this person think this way? What experience led them to this conclusion? Is there something in their perspective that I have never considered? This is intellectual maturity. You can disagree with someone without refusing to learn from them. Remember, agreement is not required for learning. Sometimes the person who challenges your thinking helps you to grow more than the person who always agrees with you. Number five, learn from older people. Modern society often celebrates youth, technology, speed, and innovation. These things are valuable, but we should never forget the value of experience. Other people have lived through things that younger generation have only read about. They have experienced difficult times. They have made decisions. They have raised families. They have experienced success and disappointment. They have lost things. They have started again. They have watched society change. Their experience can contain wisdom. So spend time with older people. Ask them questions. Don't only ask, what did you accomplish? Ask, what did life teach you? Ask, what was your biggest mistake? What would you do differently if you could start again? What advice would you give someone my age? You may be surprised by the answer. Sometimes a 30-minute conversation with an experienced person can teach you something that no textbook can teach. Experience is a teacher, and we should respect experienced teacher. Number 6, learn from young people. But learning does not more only from move See, but learning does not move only from older to younger. Adults can learn from young people too. Children have something that many adults gradually lose. Curiosity. A child sees something new and asks why, how, what is that, what happens if I do this. Children are willing to explore. They try, they fall, they fail, and they try again. They can become completely absorbed in something that interests them. As adults, we sometimes become too comfortable. We say, I already know that, I have seen this before, that won't work. We have always done this in this way, and suddenly our curiosity disappears. So, what children learn from their curiosity, learn from their willingness to ask questions, learn from their ability to begin again. Sometimes growth requires us to recover the curiosity we had when we are young. Learn to listen. If you want to learn from people, you must listen to them. Learn to listen. The sounds simple, but genuine listening is difficult. Many people don't really listen. They are waiting for their turn to speak. Sometimes is telling someone is telling a story and we are already preparing your response or our response. Sometimes it's explaining a problem and we are already preparing our advice. Someone is sharing an experience and we are thinking about our own experience. That's not deep listening. Don't listen means giving someone your attention. Deep listening means giving someone your attention. Listen to understand. Ask questions. Don't interrupt unnecessarily. Don't rush to judge. Don't immediately turn the conversation back to yourself. Sometimes the base question is simply tell me more. The small question can open an entire world of experience. You may discover a lesson you would never have found by talking. So remember, you have two ears and one mouth to reason. You have two ears and one mouth for a reason. Use both ears generously. Ask questions. Learning from people requires curiosity, and curiosity produces questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If someone knows something you don't know, ask. How did you learn that? How did you solve that problem? What was difficult about it? What would you do differently? What advice would you give someone starting today? Good question can unlock years of experience. Think about a young person who wants to start a business. Instead of spending 5 years making every possible mistake, they can talk to an experienced entrepreneur. The experienced person may say, I made this mistake, I understand this cost, I underestimated this cost, I hired the wrong person, I did not understand any customer, I waited too long to change. These few sentences could save the younger entrepreneur years of difficulty. That's the power of question. A good question can turn another person experience into your education. Let me tell you once again. A good question can turn another person's experience into your education. Ask for advice is not weakness. Ask for advice is not weakness. Some people don't ask anything for help. They think if I ask someone, people will think I'm not capable. But asking for advice is not weakness. Sometimes it is wisdom. If you are learning something new for someone who has experienced, if you are facing a difficult decision, speaking with someone trustworthy, if you are beginning a project, ask people who have done something similar. But remember something important, advice is information, not an order. Listen carefully, think critically, check the facts, consider your circumstances, then make your own responsible decision. You don't have to follow every piece of advice you receive, but you should be willing to listen. Stay humble. Perhaps the greatest requirement for learning from others is humility. If you believe you know everything, you will stop asking questions. If you believe you are always right, you will stop listening. If you believe nobody can teach you anything, you will miss valuable lessons. But when you say, I don't know everything, you create room for growth. A humble person can learn from a teacher. A humble person can learn from a student. A humble person can learn from a colleague. A humble person can learn from a stranger. A humble person can even learn from someone they disagree with. Humility does not mean thinking that you are worth less. It means understanding that you still have something to learn. That is a powerful attitude. Don't compare yourself, learn. Don't compare, just learn. There is another danger we should avoid. We when we see someone more successful than us, we may become jealous. We may compare ourselves. We may think we do not have what they have. Instead, change the question. Don't ask, why am I not like them? Why am I not like them? Ask, what can I learn from them? So there are two different questions. Don't ask, why am I not like them? But ask, what can I learn from them? The simple change can turn jealousy into motivation. If someone is better at public speaking, learn from them. If someone manages time better, study their habits. If someone has built a successful organization, study how they did it. If someone has developed a stronger relationship, observe their communication. Don't waste energy comparing your chapter with other someone else chapter 20. Let me tell you, you are in chapter 1 and other in chapter 20. Then how can you compare? You are just beginning and people have already had the success at the top. How can you compare? So this question is, don't waste energy comparing your chapter 1 with someone else chapter 20. Learn from them. Learn from them, but don't compare. Most of the time we compare and lose many things. Then continue writing your own story. Turn learning into action. There is one final step. Learning something is not enough. You have to apply it. Someone you talk to, a successful business person, they give you 10 valuable lessons. You feel inspired. You feel inspired. You say, that was amazing. And then you do nothing. What happened? You receive information, but you did not experience transformation. So, whatever you learn something from someone, ask, what will I do with what I have learned? What will I do with what I have learned? Choose one lesson, at least one lesson, write it down, practice it, apply it, evaluate the result, then continue, because learning without application produces information. Learning with application produces growth. That is the difference. Learning without application produces information. Learning with application produces growth. A simple exercise for today. Let's make today's lesson practical. Think of three people, not many, three. Person one, someone who has achieved something you admire. Ask, what can I learn from this person's success? Person two, someone who has experienced failure or hardship. Ask, what can I learn from this person's experience? Person three, someone who thinks differently from you. Ask, what can I learn from this person's perspective? Write down one lesson from each person. You now have three lessons, because three persons, three lessons. Don't just write them down. Choose one, apply it this week. This is how learning becomes growth. Finally, let's summarize today's lesson. Every person is a potential teacher. Successful people can teach us what works. Failed people can teach us what doesn't work. Other people can teach us through experience. Young people can teach us through curiosity. People who think differently can expand our perspective. Teachers can give us knowledge, friends can give us encouragement, even a stranger can give us unexpected lesson, but there is one condition. We must be willing to learn from them. We must be willing to learn. So, the next time you meet someone, don't immediately ask, what can this person do for me? Ask, what can I learn from this person? They next time someone succeeds, don't only admire them, study them. The next time someone fails, don't mock them, learn from them. The next time someone disagree with you, don't immediately reject them, listen. And the next time you realize you do not know something, don't be impressed. Ask, because you do not have to learn everything by making every mistake yourself. You can learn from the experience of others and what can make your journey shorter, wiser, and richer. So, my friends, remember today's central message. Every person has something to teach us. Every person has something to teach us. Be curious, be humble, ask questions, listen carefully, learn from success, learn from failure, learn from different perspective, and most importantly, turn what you learn into action. Turn what you learn into action, because learning is not simply about collecting a knowledge. Learning is about becoming a better person. Learning is about becoming a better person, and growth does not happen in one grand step or one step. It happens through a small lessons, small changes, and small improvements repeated over time. So learn from people, learn from life, apply what you learn, and keep growing. Learn every day, grow every day. This is Learn and Grow. I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you.